What's happening, everyone? Welcome to CFC Fan TV. I'm joined by the one and only Cheekysport Akeem and none other than Adam McKola. We have a massive match against Manchester United coming out. Let's find out what these lads have to say about it.
Come on.
Then I can do a dip to black.
Dip to black.
You know I've started editing. You know I've started editing. Yeah, dip to black, dip to white, cross dissolve, and then we're into the video.
Look at that editing. Look at that. Final
I'll
Cut
leave
Pro.
it. I'm gonna leave
Expo
that in.
fade. Alright guys, Adam McKola here. I'm joined by Rory.
How are you?
Ack from Cheekysport. Rory, what's the channel called? Go and tell
CFC
them.
Fan TV.
And we'll be doing a bit for them as well. Chelsea against United this coming weekend. Huge game coming up.
Yeah.
Obviously Chelsea haven't been in the greatest form. United form has been hit and miss in the last couple of weeks, and it's a big game, isn't it? I mean, last season we got absolutely annihilated by you guys at your place,
true,
but coming into this one it's a little bit more open.
Well look, it's the biggest game of the season. Manchester United at home for any club in the league is the biggest game of the season. It's one you really look forward to. I'm not feeling that good about it, to be honest. I think that we certainly have it in us to win, but you've been looking very good, and I think that's correct. If you didn't lose to Huddersfield, if you won that game, that would have been your best start to a Premier League campaign ever.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, all right. I didn't even know you were there.
Ad-libs.
Hey, don't worry.
Ad-libs are back.
I'm here, mate. I'm here. And look, I was going to actually say to Chelsea, well done, because it actually still makes you this match the two real giants of the Premier League. The two teams in the Premier League. How many times Chelsea won it?
We are, what are we now? Four?
Four?
Four
I don't think you're getting ahead of yourself, mate.
Four Premier League titles.
Four Premier Leagues,
6,
5
7,
titles.
Oh, 5 altogether.
Yeah, no, don't stretch it. We're just talking about Premier Leagues, mate. But yeah, you know, look, it's two giants of the Premier League, two true giants, and I think, you know.
You confident for this one?
I'm confident.
Really?
I'm confident.
Chelsea away, you're confident?
Yeah, I'm confident.
What, of what?
I'm never confident in these away games because Jose doesn't go to...
What I mean is, I'm confident in relative terms, you know, to Chelsea last year. I'm confident.
You're confident of a what? A point or a 3 points?
Yeah, a point, which is a good point.
Right, yeah.
I'm not confident of 3 points against Chelsea.
What do you reckon, Adam? How are you feeling?
You see, like, I would like to say, you know what, when I watch Liverpool and I watch Chelsea and I watch Man City and they play other teams, I see things about them that I think, oh, we can get at them there. But then when we go to these sides, we don't play like we believe we can do anything.
Matt, does that bother you though?
Yes, it does. No, against Liverpool,
it's a really good
I'll
point
take
at
a draw.
Anfield. I don't know why
I'll take a draw at Liverpool. I didn't complain about the result. I complained about the performance.
Yeah.
There's two different things. At Anfield, you can play great, get a draw, you'll be happy. It's the way you play.
Yeah.
And I felt like even Crystal Palace, they lost 1-0 against Liverpool. They had so many chances.
It's a bit unambitious, isn't it? Because you could have won the game. You're good enough to win the game.
I don't mind if we draw, but at least show me you think we can win the game.
Sure.
And I don't think he really did.
So
now, I know we had a lot of
Stamford
injuries.
Bridge looking for a win.
I think if Pogba's fit, now Pogba's back at Carrington's training, he could be fit for that game.
Right.
Now I think Pogba's a huge... Last season we played him in a number 10 at Stamford Bridge, it didn't work. But if we play him in our midfield, it will work.
Yeah.
But Mac, I think the problem may be the back line long term, and I think still finding that best back four or back three even is.
But then if you're saying we've got a bad defence,
not bad defence,
or we haven't got our best defence settled, then how can we go somewhere and play defensive?
Yeah, very true. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree on that.
We're in a similar boat, you know. Our back line's like that. Our back line now, we have had. I mean, I don't quite know what the maths of it is, but I'd love to know how many different combinations we've played back there, because it's really hasn't been settled at all.
Has that been through injuries, suspensions,
a little bit of injuries, a little bit of everything, but also people being off form. So Cesar Azpilicueta is a good example to use here. Flawless defender on his day. Last season, absolutely impeccable. Just hasn't got it together this year.
Do you think the fixtures aren't helping with the addition of Champions League and that?
Mate, absolutely. The Champions League, which is why winning the treble is such an impressive achievement, and people never talk about it anymore. Like, Man United managed to win a treble. How on earth do you win the league, the FA Cup, and a Champions League? Because it takes so much out of your league form. Every time you come back from playing a Champions League game, the chances of you dropping points are so high. So if you're playing away at Newcastle, having played Wednesday night, the chances, my money would say draw. Anyone. So to win the league with all that to contend with is very impressive.
I think I'm not trying to take anything away from what United achieved, and it's the greatest year of my life. But I think it's a little bit more difficult we've got an Arsenal fan showing me a sign of the Invincibles over there, but we'll ignore Arsenal.
Again, as usual.
That's all they ever chime back to. But like back then, they used to say you could lose 6 games in a season and still win the league. And whereas now it's gone to like you can't lose more than 2.
Well, we feel like we're out of the title race. We feel like we're out of the title. I know that's not quite the way it is, but we feel like we're out of the title race in October. It's, you know,
and last season everyone was writing you guys off.
Roy,
City won the first 10 games.
Do you feel it's a bit of a mistake with loading out the likes, Zuma, the players that you feel you're going to need
your youth policy,
around
is
Christmas,
that affecting you?
Your Christmas period, because Zuma, to let him go on loan.
Zuma had a horrific injury. Like, I think your point that you're making is probably correct. I think Zuma's a wrong example to use, because Zuma needs to go and play football for a season because he had the most horrific of injuries. Did you see it?
Yeah,
you know when your knee goes the wrong way. Like,
and he wasn't going to play every game if he stayed at Chelsea.
He wasn't going to play every game, and I think that's what he needs. I think when you've had an injury like that, you need a year's worth of football. You need to know that you can trust your knee, and you haven't got the luxury of doing that at Chelsea, testing things out, like seeing if it's okay. And you play less games at Stoke. It's not a bad loan, but I think the point is correct. There are players, like we've gone into this campaign with 2 strikers. That is
why I've written you guys off on the title.
Tammy Abraham scoring goals.
Yeah.
Why isn't Tammy Abraham scoring goals at Chelsea?
I seen him the other day at the Liberty, and like he came on in the second half, and he was already class. And then I seen him after the game as well, and he was signing autographs for everyone. He didn't hide, and it was like these players are still new to everything.
Yeah.
And so when they're playing, like if they see 100 fans, they'll go sign anything for them. When they're playing, it's just like wow, I'm hungry. Like everything's hungry, and I think when you've got those players in your squad and in your ranks and fighting on the heels of Batshuayi or Morata, it's going to make them work.
Do you know what as well? Do you know why it's so important? Because when you win the league, any club this is, when any club has won the league, it's about the striker who scores 30 goals a season or whatever. It's about him. But then it's about who else contributes. So the year that Chelsea won the league 2 years ago, it was because Diego Costa was a monster. Diego Costa scored so many goals and won us the league. But when he wasn't playing well, when he wasn't in the team for whatever reason, Loic Remy popped up. 8 goals a season, worth 15 points. You win the league.
But do you feel the likes of Willian and Pedro has done well enough then this season? That means that their position.
Willian's having a terrible season. Willian is really
getting a lot of stick. Do you think that could have been something to do with linked with the move away?
I don't quite know what happened with Willian. It doesn't make much sense. He gets a lot of Twitter hate, which doesn't. I think we all know. Twitter, you go to a stadium, you've got 30,000 fans singing his name. You go on Twitter, I mean, people are so abusive beyond what is acceptable.
I know this is a little bit going away from the game on the weekend, but when we think of social media, like I thought this the other day, and then I thought, why am I being stupid? It can't have any impact. And I think this with Arsenal a lot, because they're the most example in terms of social media, but do we think the way fans react on social media has a negative effect on the players? Because I thought after that draw at Anfield, which wasn't a bad result, everyone at United went, oh my God, what the hell was that?
I'd like to say no.
Yeah, and then the whole team...
It's funny that we're having this conversation sitting in Twitter. perfect place for this conversation. I'd like to think no, but the answer is probably yes. I'd like to think that the players don't pay any attention to anyone other than the manager and their teammates. I don't think they should care what else is going on, but the truth is probably yes. What do you?
Yeah, you're right, and I think what happens now is people are scrolling. You've heard all about it last year with a few Man United players and Arsenal players that they left social media because they just couldn't take the abuse, and it probably affected their game. And I think probably the best thing to do is if you're off form, maybe stay off it.
Yeah,
but,
that's a move.
Delete your account when you're off form.
Delete your account, Put on reactivate when you score a hat-trick.
Exactly.
How are we feeling about the start to the season, focusing a little bit more on this game, and how do you think this sets the rest of the season up for the winner, if there is a winner? Because I think it will be a draw.
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw because I think Conte is not as defensive as Mourinho, but he's not going to go all guns blazing for this sort of game. I think it's not.
I disagree with him. I think I want this. Well, I think this is the one at home. Look, a point against United anywhere is a good point.
I think you're still a little bit vulnerable at the moment.
But we're not in a position where we can afford a draw.
Yeah,
we've let our form. We've dropped unnecessary point. If you're going to lose at Palace, you have no option but to go and beat Manchester United. If you beat Palace, draw at Man United's fine. But we have boxed ourselves into a corner now where anything other than 3 points against you, if we don't win, we might as well lose, because what's the point?
It's true.
We don't close the gap.
You need to close the gap. Yeah, it's true. You need to close the gap.
So I think we'll go for broke.
Will you win?
Yeah, of course. I have to say, of course.
No, but on match day, going to the ground when you're outside.
You never go into a game against Manchester United confident. You know, nobody does. In the whole of world football, nobody does. But if anyone can, it's a Chelsea fan, because even when we were terrible, even Gavin Peacock, you know. So if anybody can go in confident, it's a Chelsea fan, and I'll be that Chelsea fan for this.
Gavin Peacock, I haven't thought about it.
The year you won the cup. It's the year you beat us in the cup. You beat us in the
4-0.
You beat us 4-0 in the cup. But that year,
94.
we played you home and away, obviously.
You beat us 5-0 once, didn't you?
We beat. That was a treble-winning team. It was a team that they won the treble in. They won the treble in the May. In the October, Chelsea won 5-0. Jody Morris scored.
Oh, Jody Morris.
And Newcastle beat us 5-0 as well.
Philly Calvert scored a chip. Yeah, but no, we've always had a very good record against Manchester United. I mean, going back to when I was a kid, when Manchester United were winning doubles. Do you remember
this game? Were you there? I was at this game. So it's 3-3. Ranieri's first ever game.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank scored.
Remember that game?
Yeah.
I was at that one. It just sticks in my head. A game against Chelsea, which I thought was a classic. Is it going to be a classic?
No.
What's the score going to be?
Classic. It'll be very tight.
No chance.
There'll be one goal in it, and it will go Chelsea's way. 2-1.
I'm going to go with 1-1. But if someone does nick it, it'll be Man United.